Far is good enough, and to really play this match with the big between our teeth.
Looked dangerous again, knocking out the Netherlands and Canada on the way to this match. The French in 2022, and with Kylian Mbappe, who starred in both those matches on 6.
Football fans across the globe are wide awake tonight, and it has nothing to do with a missed penalty or a red card. It has to do with a piece of paper. A referee appointment sheet, quietly released by FIFA, has managed to do what very few decisions can do at a World Cup quarterfinal. It has overshadowed the match itself before a single ball has been kicked. Here's what's happening. As France prepares to face Morocco in the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, world football's governing body has handed the officiating duties for this enormous match to a crew made up entirely of Argentine officials. Not one referee, not two. The entire on-field team, the center referee, both assistant referees, the fourth official, and even the reserve assistant, all from Argentina. And if you know anything about the history between these two footballing nations, you already understand why this has set off alarm bells among fans, pundits, and journalists alike. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this appointment has become one of the most talked about storylines of the entire tournament, what both camps are saying about it, and what it could mean as the knockout rounds intensify. Let's rewind for a second and set the stage. France arrives at this World Cup as the defending runners-up, still chasing the ghost of that unforgettable 2022 final in Qatar, where Argentina beat them on penalties in one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played. That match didn't just end a tournament, it planted a seed of rivalry that has followed both nations ever since. Now, 4 years later, both teams are once again among the favorites to go all the way, and the possibility of a rematch somewhere down the line in this tournament has been the subject of non-stop speculation. Morocco, meanwhile, are no strangers to shocking the football world. Back in 2022, the Atlas Lions became the first African nation in history to reach a World Cup semifinal, riding a wave of momentum and national pride that capture hearts everywhere. Their run ended at the hands of France, who beat them 2-0 in that semifinal. Now Morocco gets a chance at redemption, led by Achraf Hakimi, going up against a French side still built around Kylian Mbappe. This quarterfinal in Boston is loaded with storylines even before you factor in the officiating drama. So here's exactly what happened. FIFA confirmed that 44-year-old Argentine referee Facundo Teo will take charge of the France versus Morocco quarterfinal, to be played at Boston Stadium. He'll be joined by fellow Argentine assistant referees Juan Pablo Bellotti and Gabriel Chade, with Dario Herrera serving as the fourth official and Christian Navarro as the reserve assistant. This marks the first time in the entire 2026 World Cup that an on-field officiating crew has been made up entirely of individuals from a single nation. For a tournament of this magnitude, that's an extraordinary detail, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. The timing only adds fuel to the fire. This announcement comes just days after Argentina's own round of 16 victory over Egypt, a controversial 3-2 win that was marked by several contentious VAR decisions. That match was officiated by a French referee, François Letexier, whose performance drew sharp criticism from the Egyptian camp and sparked no shortage of conspiracy theories online. So now, barely a week later, we have the reverse situation. Argentine officials overseeing a match involving France, and football fans everywhere are connecting the dots, fair or not. FIFA, for its part, has stood firmly behind the appointment, stating that all officials are selected purely on merit and performance, not nationality politics. And it's true that FIFA has assigned same-nationality refereeing pairs at other points in this tournament. But the optics here are undeniably different, given the stakes, given the history, and given that Argentina remains one of France's most serious rivals for the title. Now let's talk about how both camps have responded, because this is where it gets interesting. Head coach Didier Deschamps was asked directly about the appointment in his pre-match press conference, and he chose to take the diplomatic road, saying, "We have to deal with it. I trust the referees." He made it clear that his focus was on the opponent, not the officials, adding that Morocco, not the referee, was the challenge in front of his team. Deschamps even managed a pointed jab at critics of the earlier Le Texier controversy, joking that he hoped his own match officials would perform just as well. France's third-choice goalkeeper, Robin Risser, echoed that composed tone, acknowledging the tension between the two nations, but refusing to let it become a distraction. Center-back Dayot Upamecano was even more direct about tuning out the noise, stating plainly, "I'm not going to focus on who the referee will be." It's the kind of response you'd expect from a team that has been here before. One that understands World Cup knockout football comes with pressure from every direction, including outside the lines. On the Moroccan side, head coach Mohamed Wabi took a similarly calm approach. Rather than treating the appointment as a red flag, he leaned into the experience factor, saying, "We want experienced referees for these type of matches." He even pointed out that Morocco had already played under a Dutch referee in their match against the Netherlands without any controversy, suggesting his squad isn't interested in playing the nationality game either. So on the surface, both camps appear calm, professional, and focused on football. But that hasn't stopped the wider footballing world from reacting with far more intensity. Fans on social media wasted no time pointing out the awkward timing and optics of the decision, with plenty of posts questioning whether FIFA fully considered the rivalry angle before finalizing the assignment. Pundits across major outlets have flagged this as yet another entry in a growing list of officiating controversies at this tournament, following closely on the heels of the Argentina-Egypt VAR storm and Croatia's formal complaint to FIFA earlier in the competition over what they described as incorrect use of VAR and ball tracking technology. When you stack these stories together, a pattern starts to emerge, one where refereeing decisions, not just goals and tactics, are becoming a defining narrative of this World Cup. Let's break down why this actually matters beyond the headlines. In knockout football, the margin between advancing and going home is razor thin, and refereeing decisions, a marginal offside call, a soft penalty, a card that changes the tempo of the match, can swing a result entirely. When a refereeing crew shares a nationality with a team's most heated rival, even decisions made with complete integrity can be second-guessed and scrutinized in a way that adds unnecessary noise to an already high-pressure environment. That's the real risk here, not necessarily bias, but the psychological weight of playing under a cloud of suspicion, whether it's justified or not. There's also a broader institutional question at play. FIFA has increasingly leaned on some referees officiating multiple high-profile matches involving the same footballing regions, and this appointment raises fresh questions about how VAR assignments, referee rotations, and conflict of interest safeguards are being handled at the sport's biggest stage. Expect governing bodies, coaches, and journalists to keep pushing FIFA for more transparency on how these decisions are made, especially as the tournament heads into its most pressure-packed matches. As for the on-field product, tactically neither side appears to be altering their approach because of the officiating situation, at least publicly. France is expected to lean on their attacking talent and physical midfield presence, while Morocco will likely look to control tempo and hit France on the counter, much like they did in stretches of their historic 2022 run. Neither Deschamps nor Wabi has hinted at any lineup changes driven by the referee news, which suggests both camps are trying to keep the story from bleeding into their game plan. So what happens next? The France versus Morocco quarterfinal kicks off at 4 o'clock Eastern Time in Boston, with a place in the World Cup semifinals on the line. Win or lose, expect a conversation around this officiating crew to continue well beyond the final whistle. If any contentious calls occur during the match, a disallowed goal, a penalty decision, a red card, you can guarantee this refereeing storyline will explode right back into the headlines, with both fan bases combing back through the footage. FIFA will also be watching closely, especially with the semifinals and final still to come, where similar nationality-based officiating questions could resurface if not addressed. There's also the shadow of a potential France-Argentina rematch looming over this entire tournament. If both nations continue advancing, Football fans everywhere will be counting down to a possible sequel to that unforgettable 2022 final, and every officiating decision between now and then will be viewed through that lens, fair or not. So here's the big takeaway. FIFA's decision to assign an entirely Argentine officiating crew to a World Cup quarterfinal involving France has sparked genuine debate, not because of any proven wrongdoing, but because of timing, history, and the unavoidable rivalry between these two football nations. Both France and Morocco have chosen to stay composed and professional in their public comments, refusing to let the noise distract from the football itself. But make no mistake, this story isn't going away quietly. Whatever happens on the pitch in Boston, the questions surrounding FIFA's officiating decisions at this World Cup are far from over. If you enjoyed today's football update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest football news from around the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.